Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. Well, today, guys, as you guys know by clicking on the title and the thumbnail that you saw, we are doing that update that we actually promised would come about at the very end of 2021 when we did the top 10 Kingdom figures. Well, at least the ones that were out up until that point. Well, now we've actually had at least 5 of them come out, and we've had a chance to review all 5 of them and kind of get a feel of where they're at. So today, guys, we are actually going to show you how that list has now actually dramatically changed quite a bit in some aspects. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and let's start off with the former number 10, which, as you guys saw in the video, was actually Puffer. However, due to the changes, number 10 now is Rodimus Prime. He has fallen quite a ways down the list. So moving on to number 9. Formerly it was Skywarp, but now number 9 is taken over by Black Arachnia. She has likewise fallen down the list a little bit. Now, number 8 was Galvatron, who himself has completely fallen off this list. And there's probably people getting mad because they're like, how could you kick off Galvatron? Well, you know what? It's my list. I can do that if I want. Because Skywarp somehow hopscotched over Black Arachnia when previously he was below her. Now, the reason that he has come back and actually outdone her is because of his mold cousin that we'll get to later, who's much higher on the list. He kind of helped me to reevaluate how awesome that mold is. And so that's why Skywarp has kind of jumped up to the position that he's in now. So our number 7 was Rodimus Prime. And now that slot is taken over by Scorponok, who himself has come back and gotten ahead of Black Arachnia also. Now you're kind of like, well, that Scorponok mold is not really that great. Well, guys, if you saw one of my previous videos, we've actually got a ton of third-party upgrades that have brought Scorponok up to the level that he probably should have been from the very get-go, but due to Hasbro's constraints with deluxe price points and everything like that, that's why he was kind of, for lack of a better term, lackluster in the areas that he needed to be. But with these third-party upgrades, you know, he's now just shining where he should be. So our previous number 6 was Scorponok. So not so bad for him. He only fell down 1 peg, but his previous place has now been taken over by Pterosaur. Now, I did mention Skywarp's mold cousin. Now, we didn't have Pterosaur at the time this other list was originally made, so I gotta compliment how much I absolutely just enjoy Pterosaur. He is so amazing, and oh, he just, you know, as much as I love Skywarp and Air Razor, the fact that they just went to town and, you know, it was taken from like a 9 or an 8 up to like a 15. That's how great it is. His beast mode is amazing, and the robot mode, even though it's not completely 100% CGI accurate, you guys know I love some splayed wings, and Pterosaur is killing the look. So no wonder that he landed at number 6. So our number 5 was previously held by none other than Black Arachnia. Yet now who takes over the number 5 spot would be Cyclonus, which is, you know, from this point on, you're going to see that a lot of the guys will remain in the order they were in. They've just slid down. So we already know why Cyclonus is awesome, possibly being a depth charge remold in the future. We'll see where that goes, if it happens or does not. But our number 4 was where he previously sat, which is now taken over by Optimus Primal, my absolute favorite character of Beast Wars, because of course he actually had more personality, and I'm just worried that Ron Perlman will not have any in Rise of the Beasts. So, ooh, rough ride we have ahead of us. Now, number 3 was where he previously was sitting, but he's been kicked out of his seat by none other than the guy that first beat him in the first place, Dinobot. But if Dinobot has slipped down the list himself, who supplanted him? Well, that would be none other than Tigatron and the mutant Tigatron, which, okay, these guys, for the purposes that they're trying to serve, one being more of an accurate homage to the original toy colors with the, you know, flip down mutant head, and the fact that it's also just rocking everything that made the CGI accurate Tigatron awesome. Oh man, those guys, I really battled with myself. I said, you know, is it more fun than Optimus Primal in Beast and in robot mode? And I had to do the same thing with Dinobot. I'm like, you know, does he really beat out both of these guys? And both iterations, in my opinion, yeah, they are the top tier for these Voyager class guys. And the only exception being is the leader class that beat out everybody, which the last time we had a go around was none other than Megatron, which he's still top tier. I mean, he is the absolute best Kingdom figure. I still stand by that. Now, if you guys are wondering, you're like, wait a minute, you've shown 3 of them, but what about the G1 guys? Here's the thing, is Slammer, I liked him as a weaponizer type getup where he could become armor for somebody else. And I liked his really blocky robot mode. It just kind of had a nice mech feeling to it. But I really didn't care for his tank mode. It felt like that was where they phoned it in. And it felt like it was kind of phoned in really a lot worse for his just tacked on tower mode for the Generations Thrilling 30 Metroplex. And so with him being basically in my personal opinion, a figure that was only a halfway success, that is not enough of a qualifier to land on what I think is the top 10. There were so many other figures. So if you love him, I'm sorry to be cutting him down like that. I'm actually glad you enjoy him. But for me, he just wasn't good enough. As a matter of fact, I gave him to my friend because I was so unimpressed. However, there is one other guy on here that does actually kind of have like a weird leeway, and that's why he's not on this list, is because he straddled the line between Kingdom and Legacy. And you probably already guessed, yes, it is Blaster. I'm actually going to throw him in with the Legacy top 10 guys because it allowed a little bit more flexibility with the Kingdom top 10. So anyway, guys, here you have it on your screen right now, where they previously stood at the end of 2021. And now that we've had some time to reflect and see where guys here in 2022, that's my personal top 10. If you guys have one that differs, again, please go ahead and put it down in the comments. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in another review.